Hey everyone, it's Karen from Mayfly Life. Today I'm making gardener soap. Since I've been doing my garden bed build and creating my garden and planting and that, this makes sense to make a gardener soap because I, for one, don't really like wearing gloves. I love feeling the dirt in my hands and everything else, but they get pretty darn dirty, so I figured a good idea was to make a gardener soap that actually does the job. I've seen a lot of recipes out there that add, all these butters and moisturizers and stuff, and that's fine and dandy, but I mean, you want something that really cleans well, and so this one's going to be a higher percentage of coconut oil, and it'll have some skin softening oils in it, but I'm not putting like tons of butters and stuff like that in it, or high percentages of butters. So this one will be coconut oil, a little bit of olive oil, castor, and a little bit, maybe I think it was 5%. I'd have to look at my my notes here. 5% of cocoa butter, and what I'm looking for is a really hard, high cleansing bar, and this is specifically just for your hands. It's not meant for your body, it's not meant for your face because it'll strip too much of the oils off. What I'm looking for is a really hard, high cleansing bar, so that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so join me. Okay, you can see I've switched bowls. This is a small 500 gram batch because it's just me. I'm using it. I'm not, I'm not putting it on my website for purchase or anything. This is just for personal use, and I'm going to be giving you guys the recipe. So if you want to follow along, it'll also be in the description below the comments. And it'll explain what I'm doing here. So this is a 500 gram batch, and what I'm doing is I'm using 375 grams of coconut oil, and I use this coconut oil. It's an Organic Fields organic virgin coconut oil, and I get that from my local grocery store, actually, in their organic health food area aisle. So I love using this stuff. It's really nice. It comes in a huge jar. So I figured, okay, you know what? I'm going to do that. So here I'm going to be putting in 375 grams of coconut oil. So, okay, so I've got 75 grams of coconut oil, which makes 78% of my recipe. Next, I'll be adding 10%, which is 50 grams of cocoa butter. Now, I love cocoa butter, but the properties that it provides is a nice hard bar. But it also acts as a little bit of a softening. So I'm going to tear this out, and I'm going to add 50 grams of cocoa butter. Okay. And I'm going to add 50 grams of olive oil. Any olive oil will do. It doesn't have to be, extra virgin or anything like that, but if you want that, that's fine. And 50. Oh, and that, by the way, olive oil is 10% as well. And now I'm going to add 5%, 5% of castor oil, which will be 25 grams. So I'll tear this out and add 25 grams. $23, $24, oh gosh, $25. And now I'm just going to melt these down and let my lye water and my oils cool to room temperature. Okay. So I've brought my my soap to a light trace, my soap base, and I've added a tangerine cedarwood essential oil blend, and I'm just giving this a nice light stir, because of course you didn't see me stick blending this to a light trace because my camera battery died. So but I've got the replacement, and I'm just giving this a nice little mix, and it smells really nice. So what I'll be doing is I'll be dividing this between my other bowl here that has about a teaspoon and a half of, or a tablespoon I should say, and a half of Rhassoul clay. And I'm just going to add that in halfway. And what I'm going to be doing is I'll be doing a funnel pour for this one. Yeah, that's about even, maybe a little bit more. There. Okay, so if it's not too you know, too evenly done, that's fine, as long as it's close enough. So my Rhassoul clay, here I'm going to be adding cornmeal, and I'll be adding about as one of my exfoliants. So I'll be adding, and this is going to be about a tablespoon and a half. That's a tablespoon. And I'll give it a quick mix, see how it looks, how the consistency is, whether or not it's... Because I don't want it to be too terribly gritty, but I also don't want it to be under that, so I'll probably add a little bit more. Oh, maybe that's good. Yeah, that's nice and fluid. See? And I want to leave it this color because I want the white flecks of the cornmeal to show up in the soap itself. So I don't want the brown to be too dark. And now here, I'll be adding the same amount, except for this has no Rhassoul clay, or however you want to pronounce it, but I'm doing black walnut shell. And I'm going to do the same amount as what I did with the cornmeal. So it's about a tablespoon and a half. And just give it a good mix. So you can use all sorts of different exfoliants. Like a lot of people, when they're making gardener soap, will use pumice, but I don't have pumice on hand, and it's difficult to get. So, but this is fine. This will act really nice as a as an exfoliant. So, but here it's really dark. Like, look at that. That's the black walnut hull that does that. And maybe with this one, I'm going to give it another blend and get going on the so I'll give it a good stick blend again. because it's dark, the other with the walnut hull, I want this to have a little bit of color. So I'm adding just a hint of orange oxide. There we go. Well, that tangerine and cedarwood blend is really, really nice. Okay, so let's get to the walnut. Move this over and move this one in place. Okay. There we go. It almost looks like it's not even blended, but it is. But it's like I said, I'm going to be doing a funnel pour. And we'll see how it turns out. So, okay, so I've got my my container here, and I'm just going to be adding a little bit at a time. And we'll see how it goes. So just keep alternating. Should be interesting. It's not going to be the prettiest soap on the planet, but if it does the trick, then that's all that matters. And then besides, I'm not using this for sale. I'm just doing it for my own personal use because, of course, I have a garden which I just grew, and it's growing well. And like I said, I like to dig in the mud, in the soil, with my bare hands. I don't like using I don't really like using gloves. I like to feel the dirt in my fingers, in my fingernails. I know I'm crazy, but okay, so now that's pretty close to the top. So now I'm just gonna eyeball it in the center. I don't know if it's going to look like a holy mess or not, but we'll see. I've never done a funnel pour before, so this will be my first. But we'll see how it works out. I could bring this to emulsion or to a thicker trace if need be the next time I make it, but that's the whole fun about being like soaping, is experimenting, learning what are your limitations. That's the whole idea of it. Like, I've been soaping for just over 2 years now, and you know, I have a lot to learn about soap making and so forth. So we'll leave this set overnight. And give it a little shimmy and shake a bit, and hopefully this will turn out. Okay, I'll bring you back for the cut. Okay, I'm back. It's been 12 hours, and I knew this was going to be a harder bar because of the 75% coconut oil that was put in this, but it's nice and hard, and it has some really cool swirls in here. And this is one of the ends here, and and it smells, oh man, it smells good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off a little sliver of the end because I want to have a clean end. And hey, that looks pretty cool. So I will, actually, what I need to do is get a cloth, paper towel, and wipe off. So I'm just going to do, you know, small rounds. Go straight up and down. As you can see, I still use the knife. And I'm just going to slowly pull this apart. Roll it off. And it is a little sticky still, so there we go. Yeah, that's turning out actually fairly nice. I really like the way this looks. And each one's going to be different, of course, because of the way it was poured with this funnel pot pour. But I'm really excited about this. Some are going to be funky, some are going to be, you know, different, but that's okay because that's what this is all about. See? I like this. I'm actually fairly excited about this and how it turned out. But I knew it wouldn't take long, you know, to get set up and so forth because of the coconut oil and how much was used. And then plus two, you've got the cocoa butter. But there's not many soft oils. I really like this. This is turning out really nice. Beautiful colors. Yeah. Another one. And I'll cut this last one in half. Yeah. And the smell, the tangerine and cedarwood is just divine. So, yeah. So that turned out really well. Really pleased. So I'll have quite a few bars of garden soap for my use. I've got 8 bars here, 8 rounds. I'll just clean them up a bit later on. Okay? So thanks for joining me. Catch you in the next one.